Gardening time, the second of two. I'm missing semen. Yeah, so if you miss semen, then you have to get something. I would assume, on grounds of being in a state of perpetuated alerthood, that indeed some were stolen. So I have just one left. This is astounding, and I will put it now into the earth. I had collected others, though. I have forgotten to count. Maybe it's already enough. But knowing that that one has nothing and gets not what it deserves, and albeit breaking in here with an unreal A key and stealing, I find that off-putting. I don't know how other people would find that. I find that totally off-putting. They are having now a whole 2 lives, if one wills, of academic attempts, one must say. In Germany, I'm simply not enabled to be and stopped all in the while. So, and the reason is, the keyboard was Juice Nose in the last video. It is not because of Jules-ness, but it is because of the business model. I'm not here attempting to, in a feindliche Übernahme or what, to declare a business model my own. It is for descriptional purposes. And the other expression would be core criminal complex. Core criminal complex. One half in which I am in. Every now and then I get the same bad treatment, whilst on the other half there's earnings. There's earnings indeed. So, and upon my text that could be accessible, a keyword damages interest and tort, but if I'm now again contested to having written that all alone on my own, then again one arrives at nothing and nowhere. So, and the hospital allegory, let's assume that also technical equipment somehow there to secure the, for the time being, life of the patient is, of course, it is a hospital, yeah? It is no owned anymore, it is hospital. So, and where did I hear it? Statual German TV. It's TV, but I think it was on statual. And the stuff they for certain collected upon my stay abroad from
from elsewhere and foreseeable from there and there, they would simply snatch. They would simply snatch. They would place me with psychologists, presumably, other than paying me officially for my work. Doable already as early as the first version ready. They would do that. They would do further behavioral studies, unconsented. And if anyone too interested, he or she would receive also a kind of a treatment. And I presume it was similar to what I have received, or what I have experienced, simply by creating certain situations and shifting time frames, people therein, but keeping characters alive, so to speak, and play originals. They would make sure that they are in full control, as if we were in China even. As if we were all in China. So they now would be getting hectic and thereby making clear that they have not understood my aim and the whole textual compilation. They would have divided it amongst each other, overseeing the fact that I explained though in my texts, it has to be kept together because it is an argumental whole. And now, each and every endowed presented with but hashtags of single texts, of course gets nervous. Of course gets nervous. So, what important is really the age that one can set back to. Mine though, between 6 and 8. Prior maybe, prior also, yeah, of course, prior. The ensuing matter. The ensuing matter. The ensuing matter. So, and at the age of 7 or 8, if set back to there, the question is how that is communicated, how that was communicated. One can receive even life endangerments, or meantime somehow reduced bodily harm. People though would show up 2021-22. And those are likely to have been presented with but another text of mine that would attempt to get insurance money, body insurance, on grounds of, I've forgotten, what was it, knee. I could now proceed, but had I proceeded then, that money would also have been away already. Yeah, if one costs the state 10,000 euro a month, then 20,000 approximately would have been away in 2 years. So, and if ministries don't pay me, then indeed I can land in prison. Or I become Tina Lücke and simply go to a Kazan and play them Marlene Dietrich. Play them Marlene Dietrich. I've contacted though one or the other, but if they are all in that prostitutional circle, then they of course have to not react to any person from outside. As if I was from outside, because presumably, and I indeed do invite people to comment and to leave me some hints, black on white though, online, like, yes, we have seen you in a fitness center surrounding. First there was old equipment, and then after 1.5 years also, all over new. Where did that money come from, Mark Frenzel? Yeah, where did it come from? Did you inform me on that? Here's a come and we are recording. No. Did you inform me that this goes to a certain a circle? No, of which you likely knew that I don't did then not watch any football. No, not at all. But you played me each and every time a different character, and I indeed sprang onto it and tried to understand that. And the breadcrumbs coming from you, it was a mere nothing. And that, of course, including in my texts, harking back far, brought me to indeed think whether you had played an unfavorite role in my life prior. And if that could be proven, that indeed would be unfavorite. That indeed would be very unfavorite. Also, I am Turingen here, like the noise guy, that is likely to having initiated quite a bit, like we are doing her a school in which she can first leave all her texts, not knowing where they are landed to. This would be the 2006 UAE, or prior likely having started, to simply doing copies, of which I was also not informed, and then proceeding, doing me a key logging, that keyword from Baldus, now dead, really, placing me in a surrounding in which each and every foot would be recorded, and then you would do your very own thing with my identity. This is highly criminally relevant, and if a Dietmar Herz told you otherwise, that one astoundingly similar looking as the person that was the money giver in the 90s. Yeah, this is would fit to the real pirates there and there. You are simply used since decades to earn upon my existence
and exploiting my life utterances. Be it sex, be it the S, be it a person visible also, that one would be taken over, unless not having been a total an asshole before, knowably, and any textual utterances also. Verbal also, if I'm here talking and do not record, someone else is recording. And to break into such a system and try convince a statual prosecutor, also having a false name, likely being him or herself in certain strenuities, is of course not helping in getting me to where I want to get to. Yeah, having done successful claims. So likely upon me telling him anything what I might be doing with a eventual BA, he completely decided likely to doing his own thing. On grounds presumably of having seen the one or the other video. Firstly, secondly, having known or set into knows who to contact. If that one was N4A, which is likely not true because I would place him into Hesse, then who would he have contacted? My brother even, and Lebjords. Lebjords himself, however, and I commented it, likely to having put himself also in a strenuous position, in at least having one time overstepped borders that his profession as but a lawyer would have set him. So if I address certain ministries, how would they react? They would not react as is done meantime at this period of time. Or if so, no, they would not engage in any talk with me. They simply would rely that people get used to a kind of an alternative Lindenstraße, thinking that everything is just normal, and citing this or that sentence, taken out completely out of context, conflating time frames, taking the wrong people for advices, namely those who had damaged the most. So they would rely on the threefold diagnosis and on the fact that I indeed can only, but I did it, argue the still or prior existence of a website showing everything with regard to me and inviting else people to shit onto my very existence and my identity. On those against this background, having been set into being in the mid-90s, offering some juicy stuff, juice asses mine from behind, and letting it being online for decades and letting earn, presumably, against those backgrounds, they could, what do I mean with they? It objectively could have been expected that by all my texts and then my communication with the British speaking TV radio sender would indeed fall onto fertile soil and disallowing people to getting into contact directly with me, and if so, they would be thwarted off. Presented with what they have on offer, whatever that might be, and simply having alternatives at hand. Other and more knowledge, which in a way is okay, but I have been before though. No, I have been before. Also, my websites are not visited. So I spent here 20 years against nothing. Against really nothing. And of course one gets uninteresting if one is always watchable and if one then talks and writes, there is no surprise any longer, this is clear. So this happened once in a while, they are trained, they have their people, but my case stands out due to the fact that that another country is involved, was involved, and that it is all criminally relevant. But obviously, one or the other person has a false name, so one indeed has to ask, how did that happen? I only cite a Kai name, a Kai name. Is he from the Bundesstaatsanwaltschaft? Yeah. So you have your name from a very bottle that was findable on regular visits, though, and on secret and illegal visits. That's the letter with a false key, with an unreal key. You got your name from a very bottle in my bathroom. It is not name. It is a liquid that one puts onto parts where there are pimples. Thereby also you. It might help you even. Yeah. Pay me. Use bank me. Thereby you are connectable to a Michaela Fahrenholz, and meantime it is understood what those people took care of. When she was maybe 12 or 13, she was pimpled all over. What does that say and mean? I don't know. During that time she wore a Zyklan pullover with stars on it. never seen again. Also, then I hardly saw her. A Zyklam pullover. Zyklam is a pink tone with white stars on it. No jacket, just that pullover. Pullover, I don't know. The name of the bush of the plant is it Neem? Is it a Neembaum? Maybe yes. So you have all kinds of people, descriptions and contexts. I myself wrote them off, and I would be more than happy if indeed against those people could be undertaken something.